All right, what's up, everybody? We are on season 1, episode 3 of the Attack on Titan rewatch. The episode is called A Dim Light in the Darkness of Despair. Very interesting title, actually, looking back at it. But I think what is so fascinating about this episode is that going into it now, I mean, I kind of remember, of course, what happens in it. And I think the contrast could not be greater between how I originally came off of watching this episode and how I'm going into it now. More so probably than any other episode will give me this feeling later on in the show, doing it a second time. Because I'm just going to be completely honest, right? But when I watched Attack on Titan for the first time and I did not know how much I was going to end up loving this show and how important everything was even going to be, I just remember watching episode 3 and 4 maybe as well, thinking like, okay, that was all right, but it kind of seemed like filler to me or something, or it just wasn't all that interesting. I really liked the first 2 episodes because they kind of immediately got me into it. And of course, there's some situations that as a casual newcomer, you can just appreciate, right, with the Titans attacking and everything. And then season 3 and 4 were about obviously, episode 3 and 4 were obviously about Eren mainly, and all the other people in the Survey Corps training and learning new techniques and stuff like that. And so not the most exciting from an action point of view, not even, again, as a newcomer from a storytelling point of view either, because you don't understand where the story is going yet. You don't understand yet how much you're going to care for these characters. And so when they're just talking about random stuff, like you'll have some of these some of these random scenes in there. I remember like Jean and Eren fighting and Jean looking at Mikasa a certain way or whatever, right? Like that didn't do much to me. I didn't really care much yet. Whereas now I will care greatly about all of it, and I'll be finding it awesome. You know, I'll love seeing that potato scene with Sasha again that never left my memory afterwards. And I already found that funny in the when it happened, but now thinking back about it, and of course knowing more about Sasha and where she ends up and everything like that, it's going to be even greater. Same with Keith, who in the very beginning just seemed like this douchebag, right? Like just a harsh, super harsh commander. Oh, right, that's another scene I remember where he let Sasha walk, I don't know, till the evening or something, just for offering that potato to him or something, right? Again, like all those things, they become so much greater now. Of course, we're gonna see our first glimpses at all of these characters, right? Reiner and Berthold, where they seem just like cool guys. At the end of that episode, when they invite Eren over to that and they go to that lake or whatever. But I didn't understand the purpose of the scene. There's gonna be all the stuff with Krista, as she will now once again be called, and we will understand much more about her past. All these characters will have such, I mean, again, knowing the backgrounds for them, there is so much more reason to love seeing how the show introduced them now. Whereas in the very beginning, watching it for the first time, as I already pointed out, you're never gonna feel that same way about it. And I think that's only natural, right? There's no problem with me putting it like that, because I think everybody will be kind of feeling that way. Although, once again, that's not to say that in the beginning, when you do watch them, they can still be cool episodes. Like that's just that's just the feeling that I had coming off of them. Like, okay, that was enjoyable, I guess. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. That was basically it. Whereas now I'm going into it like, oh, I can't wait to see like all the scenes that we're gonna get for these characters, and hopefully some other ones that like that I don't remember really too well. I know, for example, I think I remember this because back in even season 2, when Amir finally started playing a much bigger role, I completely forgot that Amir even had scenes in season 1. I'm just gonna be honest about that too, but I think I said it back then. So that made me already kind of go back, I think, through this episode once, just to see if she was there, and she was. So that's gonna be, again, like another character that I can't wait to see more of. So I guess all I'm trying to say here is I'm excited to dive in, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Of course, guys, if you enjoy my reactions here to the Attack on Titan rewatch, you will actually be able to get a bonus episode every week over on Patreon, which is linked on top of the description. Over there, we should also already be on episode 14 right now, so you can catch up on the next 11 episodes immediately. yeah, and basically, you know, do that right now. That's linked on top of the description, like I said, along with full-length reactions if you want to see me react to the entire episodes. OVAs, there's some more OVAs I'm going to be reacting to, some more exclusive videos I'm going to be doing over the coming months. Like maybe an Attack on Titan character tier list I'm going to do eventually, and I'm going to be reacting to every single intro and, or I should say opening and ending part with their lyrics and stuff too, as soon as we get to them. So I'm looking forward to all of that, and I hope you are too. Once again, go and check it out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, of course, if you haven't done so already, and hit the notification bell, because these videos go up once a week over on YouTube. And then with that being said, let's actually dive into episode 3 of Attack on Titan. Wow, little detail I noticed there in the intro, how all the characters were like staring at the ground maybe, or at least staring in one direction. And then Mikasa does a slight head twist to look at Eren. So cool. How did I never realize that? Yeah, started off with immediately. Oh my god. Immediately giving arm and shit. Oh my god. Oh, so like all the people that came from the first ring. Right, and he wanted... yeah, okay, he wanted to be in the military police. Oh, Marco. Marco, you have a whole different fate waiting for you. The king just wants, you know, being served food. Wow, he mentions Ragako, yeah. I forgot he did this to Connie here, holy shit. Never change, Sasha, never change. I couldn't resist, she says as well. I mean, she would use any situation she can. Because they're hungry. I never would though. Fucking hate potatoes. Yeah. Keith is not really the person who will let himself be bribed by this empathetic move. I feel like I called Sasha Potato Girl for so long. Wow, yeah, it's so cool how all these details are still correct. Oh, right, they kind of asked for Eren to share his experience, didn't they? Yeah. He's right there with you guys. Oh god. Is Rhino here in the scene? Is that him in the bottom over the subtitles? Yeah, well, they were talking about the colossal one, obviously, but... That was him, right? Where was Bertolt, though? Yeah, this is where he shows that confidence. And I think Jean gives a shit for it. Man, Jean, shut up. You yourself wanted to be comfortable in the military police. Yeah, well, I guess that's kind of, he has a good point. Like, then again, Eren does genuinely want to join the Survey Corps, so he's not a pussy either, you know. I know I'd be just trying to join the military police. I'm not even gonna be lying about it. I'm not making comments because I think there's still about like 15, 16 here, right? So yeah, let me just hold back. Oh, wow. Wait. So she always had that hair shorter because of what Eren said here? Never knew that either. My trust. Oh, that's so cool because they end up, of course, being big friends with Sasha here as well. Yeah, this is Historia giving her food, right? I so did not understand this scene. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But this really always was Historia just trying to play that kind person, right? And Emir here seeing that she wasn't that necessarily. She was just putting up an act. You're trying to do a good deed. Okay. Maybe she, yeah, and then I think Historia kind of respected that about Emir and realized that Emir saw her real. She understood her. She understood what she was doing, you know? It's awesome. Yeah, she already has the haircut now, right? And we all know who was responsible in the end. Which is funny because I think I heard that initially people speculated that it might have been Mikasa doing it to prevent Eren from joining the Survey Corps or something. So cool how then so much later we would finally find out it was Keith all along. Daz. Oh yeah, he felt so hurt by all of this. And I think Daz is the one that Historia and Emir carry in season 2 through the snow. So see? She does try and get him. What does she mean by that? That was Berthold there, I think. Right. Can I have the bread? Or what is she? Yeah. Oh man. This also confused the fuck out of me. She took it herself. I didn't even realize that. What the fuck? That's hilarious. He's completely crushed. Oh, man. If only they knew, actually, that they had the founding titan right in front of them. Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, the founding, right? Yeah. And the attack titan. A small village southeast Walmaria. Keep it purposefully vague. A rumbling. Why is Reiner like stopping him? Is he afraid that he will maybe say too much eventually, or? Oh man, so awesome. Yeah, I just want to slay them all. I mean, I would think that Reiner and Berthold do actually like really respect that about him, and just the people here in general looking at what they know, which is of course not the truth, like how they deal with it, right? That's the whole point. Realizing they're also just people living in their own bubble. And doing what feels like the right thing in that bubble. Yeah, and then I think it's Keith himself pointing out, sorry for constantly calling out what's going to happen in advance, but I'm just doing it because I'm trying to remember on the spot. But Keith will be pointing it out now, right? Because he realized he was a mere bystander or whatever, and nothing was going to stop it anyway. Still didn't... Like, I remember not quite understanding that when it was explained, and still not really. Because I don't recall the explanation people gave, I guess. Like, I don't think, from what I saw people talk about, anybody ever expected that it was Keith who was responsible for this. But what I was gonna say is, like, thinking about the fact that he did point it out, that's a big giveaway that he could have been the one too. Yeah, but Eren just talks about Mikasaya also, like, you're not gonna take it away from me. Oh wow, he brings that up too. Man, that's so great. You would never think about all those details in the moment. Never. Wow, awesome. This is so good. Yeah, again, I'm not gonna say anything new here because it's literally what I talked about in the intro before watching this episode, but it's only now when you can truly understand the purpose of every scene that was being showed in this episode, because so much of it otherwise would have seemed, as a first-time viewer, like, unimportant. You know what I mean? Like, for example, again, just the Sasha and the potato scene or whatever, right? That's just sort of like comic relief, which was still cool the first time around. Therefore, I really liked that scene the first time around. But of course, now it just explains a lot more about... well, it doesn't necessarily explain a lot more, but it's so in line with what our whole character was essentially going to be, and constantly bringing up food, of course, in the remainder of the show, which you could not have figured out immediately. But it's also, again, it is that scene there with Historia bringing food to Sasha, And Emir pointing it out in the moment, like, you don't even, I mean, it's too many characters originally to deal with, right? So I was still just focused myself on Eren, Mikasa, and Armin at that point, because dealing with all these other characters was just kind of too much, right? So I didn't understand what this conversation was about that like Emir was having there with Historia and what the significance of it was and why she was looking at her weird like that. And now you finally get it because you know what that story was about. And you know it was about like Historia, she herself is living this lie and she's trying to sell it by being this nice person to everybody. Emir sees that in her, literally just like understands. I mean, and Historia can tell, right? Shit, she is reading me. And this is also why she warms up to her in turn. Yeah, and why they would become such friends in the, you know, in the coming part of the show. It is obviously that scene with, or scene, I mean, it's a whole sequence at the end there with Reiner and Berthold, where they talk about their hometown. And, you know, again, like, you can kind of just, I don't know, I mean, it's, well, this is essentially the conclusion that we started to reach later on with them, is that through all this experience that they had with these people here, they themselves realized that even though, of course, they had to do shitty stuff here in this world by killing a bunch of people, they realized that these people were also just innocent, and they were also just living in their own lie, therefore, and they couldn't necessarily blame them for thinking the way they were, and they were also just, again, they were just doing what felt right to them. Eren going after the Titans because he looks at the Titans as the evil of everything, and those are the people the Titans are responsible for just killing everybody. It's completely understandable why he has that goal then, right? The Eldians are not, the Eldians in the show here, within Paradise Island, are not concerned with the outside world, or they're not because they don't know about it either, right? But like, they're not concerned with that. They're not yeah, I mean, they got their memories wiped. They're just people just like everybody else. They're just people just like Reiner and Berthold. And so again, they have to execute on this mission for their own people's sake, but at the same time, through this whole experience, they will come to learn that, like, yeah, they don't feel comfortable with it. And that's, of course, what the show dives into a lot later on. Yeah, again, there is that small scene with Keith, and I once again just love how all these details were there in the first place, and I could have never known it the first time around, how Keith even brings up Grisha. Like, that's the one part that I thought wasn't going to happen. But knowing, of course, their history, and that there even, was that history present, it's so cool to hear him speak about it. And I still don't really understand why in the beginning, like, I think that was explained in the Bystander episode, but I'm also just going to be honest about it, guys. Like, I've seen 87 episodes back to back, and I don't remember all the details anymore. As much as I did try paying attention, of course, the whole way through. But, like, I still don't quite remember what it was. And the Bystander episode in particular was the one that I think like, people commented on that there was a bunch of stuff that I still didn't seem to understand. So, I'm just going to be completely honest about it, right? And admit that, like, that's the one I'm actually looking forward to rewatching, because I feel like there is more for me to understand there. But I still don't quite remember why Keith then in the beginning sabotaged Eren's equipment, and then later on decided to undo it, and to make him see that he still, was skilled enough to join the Survey Corps. Was it just like a change of heart that he had? Was it a specific event somehow that we didn't see here that caused that? It must have just been, I assume, like a memory that he had or something, that we then saw in the Bystander episode, perhaps. But again, I don't quite remember it, in all honesty. But still, I think that's cool to see. And of course, if you want to point it out to me, then that would be much appreciated, and I'll make sure to get back about that. Yeah, other than that, what can I still say here? I mean, like, one detail that I still, for example, liked is when Eren was talking there in the presence of Jean, but all the other guys that were listening in too about the Titans. I feel like we saw a shot there, and I'm still not sure about it exactly. I didn't bother looking up that specific frame, but you saw a character in the bottom who I think was just Reiner, and Reiner's just looking ahead, and he's not even really listening in, or he is listening, but he's not obviously reacting, and he's not concerned with even really understanding or obsessing over what Eren is about to share here, like the other people are, because they've never seen Titans. It makes so much sense because Reiner is completely clued in on it and understands the scope of what is going on. Super, super cool to see. I think, yeah, that basically covers it all. So I hope you all enjoyed my reaction here to, Season 1, Episode 3 once again. It's fantastic revisiting this and finally understanding why people originally already told me back when I watched this for the first time that, like, Attack on Titan doesn't have filler. Every single scene has a purpose. And I can now finally understand that that is indeed the case. But the first time around, I think it's just normal that you can't. So, yeah, I loved it. With that being said, of course, guys, if you enjoy these reactions, you can get a bonus episode every single week over on Patreon, an additional one. We're doing videos twice a week over there. Linked on top of the description, of course, will already be over on, episode 14 there right now. So definitely go check that out, along with full-length reactions, some bonus videos, OVAs. The whole catalog is still up there that I watched originally, as well as some new ones that I'm going to be watching as soon as we finish Season 1. A couple other extra videos. And then with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you back in the next episode.